I came to Southeast Asia almost 20 years ago. That's a long time. And of course, I started dating women there. I've done many videos about that, about my dating experience in various Southeast Asian countries. But today I want to talk about my three biggest mistakes when dating in Southeast Asia. I've done these mistakes also in the beginning and later due to wrong judgment and other things. And this is what I want to share with you today. So, some of you who watch my videos know that I have lived and worked in the Philippines, in Indonesia, Vietnam, Thailand, Malaysia and Hong Kong. And I dated women there, and I also dated in Singapore, by the way, but I never lived and worked there. I was not employed there. The first mistake, and there are many more mistakes actually, but I was thinking about the three biggest ones, the three most crucial mistakes in my opinion and experience, which we have to try to avoid or must avoid in order to not end up with bad women or the wrong women, gold diggers, scammers and bargirls and stuff like that. So the first mistake I made, especially when I started to date in the Philippines or in Hong Kong already, was looking in the wrong places. That means when you look for girls in the wrong places and areas. For example, if you look for them in girly bars or in a red light district, yeah, like in Hong Kong where I lived for 2 years, my first so-called dating experience were in Wan Chai, the entertainment and red light district in Hong Kong, very famous with Western expats, you know. And this was my first encounter with Southeast Asian girls, Filipinas, Indonesians. So, and basically for 2 years I just hung out there and I didn't know anything else. So my idea of dating in Asia or dating Asian girls was derived by my experience in Hong Kong, and I thought this is the only way, that's it, this is the whole thing. Yeah. Or Angeles City in the Philippines, where I later continued to hang out. But you know, in these areas, these red light district areas, you only can find bar girls and hookers. That was my first mistake, to look and to go and to frequent from today's perspective the wrong areas. At the time, I also have to be fair, you know, it was also, of course, a lot of fun, you know. There's no question about that, or there was no question about this, but I was also not really serious, I believe. But I was wondering after a certain time that, hey, why are these women so weird and shady all the time? With bad intentions mostly. Yeah? Not mostly, but many times with bad intentions, you know, dishonest and this and that. So, but I couldn't figure it out, you know. I came to the conclusion, okay, these are just, the girls are just like that, you know. Maybe low integrity girls, but anyway, the second big mistake I made when I started to date these women in these areas, that I believed I can have a relationship with a bar girl. And I have also released videos about that, why you should not even consider dating a bar girl or something like that. Yeah, but I believed this is okay, this works, this is normal, it can work out. I released a video also about my relationship with a Filipina bar girl and how it all worked out. Yeah, I dated a few Filipina bar girls. I don't remember how many. I dated them in Malaysia, in Hong Kong, in the Philippines. And I thought I was dating. But at the end of the day, this whole thing never worked really out for different reasons I explain in my other videos. Yeah. Forget about dating bar girls or believing you can date them or can be in a relationship with them. I hear stories also from Thailand that some guys even married their bar girls. And yes, maybe this whole thing worked out, but in the majority of the cases, it's a really bad call to consider these kind of girls, yeah, or these kinds of relationships. Bar girls are just professionals, you know, and it's a transactional business. Yeah, and this is the only thing we have to understand and hammer into our minds. Yeah, and many bar girls like their job. They love their job. Yeah, in the Philippines, in Thailand, or in other countries, they love their job. Many of them. Believe it or not, this is also what I completely disregarded and had wrong ideas about in the beginning. I thought I have to be Prince Charming and rescuing these girls, you know. But you know, the bar girls, they actually have a good life. They can eat, they can drink, they get paid for drinking alcohol, and they can earn decent money, you know, when they have several customers. But anyway, I don't want to go into this in all the details here. I've talked about this in other videos, and I'm pretty sure you also watched other videos about guys who brag about all that stuff and how they deal with bar girls and how they date bar girls and how cool they are and how smart they are and how many girlfriends they have on the side, you know, bragging about having 10 Filipinas on each finger, you know, but they're not figuring out that these are just bar girls and it's a business to them, you know. But so that was my mistake also at the time. And mistake number 3 is actually very big. And you have to ask yourself the question, or I had to ask myself the question, why could reason number 1 and reason number 2 actually happen in the first place? So why did I look in the wrong places, and why did I believe that I could start a relationship with a bar girl? And this third mistake, if you could even call it a mistake at all, goes a little bit deeper. Because let's say we want to call it a mistake, then it is the mistake of being not aware of your unsolved psychological issues. Yeah, that sounds pretty harsh, and it goes that deep. Yeah. Because I also talked about this in other videos in more detail, why men end up in these drinking holes and red light districts, you know. Many men have many reasons. Some only go there for pure entertainment. They even have a wife at home. They just hang out with their buddies. They don't touch any girls. They just look at them, maybe pay them a drink. Then they go home. That's it. Clean, nothing, no bad intentions. But the majority of the men who frequent these places, girly bars for example, they have different motivations, and this is what I quickly here want to talk about. And these your unsolved psychological issues will make you pursue these things, you know. Long story short, the probability is very high that you are needy, that you need a lot of approval and validation, or in other words, you suffer from low self-esteem, you are very shy. And when you are all this, shy, needy, you need approval and validation, then the girly bars are the perfect place for you, you know, because the girls, the bar girls, they sell approval and validation, and they sell it in tons, you know, they sell a lot of this. There you get all your validation you need. There you get all the approval you need. You enter into these girly bars just shortly after you put your foot into the door, 10 girls are already come running at you, you know, and tell you how handsome you are and how cute you are and blah, blah, blah. Yeah? But, as I mentioned, it's just a business. but either you cannot see it or you don't want to see it. It's both, probably. You are just prey for these girls, yeah? And they sell you, of course, a nice girlfriend experience. You will not experience any rejection. The fear of rejection is very high with these men, and it was with me. I know that. I remember the times. That's why I went to these establishments, because it was a so-called risk-free environment. I was too shy to approach girls on the streets, so I went into these drinking holes, let's say, and hooked up with girls very easily, and I was never rejected. I felt like a king, So it pumps up your ego, you feel good, you feel successful, you get all this, but you crave, Why are you craving these things? Why are you craving validation and approval? So many reasons for that, and I will not go into all these details here. I just want to make you aware of that this is also a mistake. If you maybe somehow feel that, maybe you ask already yourself the question, why am I doing this? Why am I hanging out all the time with these ladies? Maybe even your colleagues or friends already ask you, hey, what's wrong with you? Can't you not find a real good woman, a normal woman, a decent woman with a decent normal job? And you just come up with some rationalizations, with some excuses. Maybe you are a little bit aware of your problem already, but you couldn't figure it out. That's the problem. And there are maybe some men who ignore it, but ignoring this, that would be a big fat mistake, because you will not improve, you will never make progress, you will, like some men, drown in these drinking holes, and the bar girls, they will not save you, they will not save your life, If you thought you entering these bar girls, these girly bars, in order to save these women, be careful, you might drown and nobody rescues you. Yeah, so we need to try to work out these issues. And I had to do this as well. Yeah, we have to be honest here. We have to question ourselves. Yeah, this is the hardest and the biggest part, because we don't want to admit mistakes, especially when it comes to us, right? But I want to talk about this here, because no other guys really talk about this, They just talk about superficial stuff, when it comes to dating mistakes in Southeast Asia. But barely anybody talks about these things. Yeah? We have to be critical with ourselves. And like I mentioned, the reasons for this kind of behavior is manifold. And most of it is to find in the early childhood. I'm not a psychiatrist and I don't want to bore you with all that stuff. But it has to be taken seriously. If you don't work out these issues, you will just continue to get your quick fix in these establishments, but you will also continue to just turning in circles, and then you will reach a dead end, right? Like a guy who posted a comment I will talk about in the next video. Now, this guy dating in the Philippines must have reached a very dead end, and he came to a certain conclusion. I want to talk about a very bad conclusion, and I will talk about this in my next video. And then you also will get more depressed, You will become cynical or even hateful. Yeah, this is what I will talk about in my next video. So, long story short, you will lose. Yeah, if you don't want or cannot work out these issues, if you ignore this. Because the biggest mistake, like I said already, in my opinion, the biggest mistake when dating in Asia is if you ignore your psychological issues, which make you behave a certain way and which makes you crave, yeah, and makes you frequent these establishments. There is an underlying reason. I know that because I was suffering from that, and for many years I was not able to recognize this problem for what it was. Yeah, and I'm not saying all men suffer from this. Again, not. I hung out at these places in Hong Kong, in the Philippines, in Indonesia, not in Indonesia, but in Thailand. And of course, you find all kinds of different guys there, you know. And there are guys, like I said, who treat it like a guy's night out, right? It's like you go to a casino, you take $100 and you tell yourself, okay, I have $100 here, I'm gonna gamble it away. If I win something, good, but if the money is gone, that's it. I go home and then that's it. And I had a good time. So you also find these guys, yeah, who go to these wrong places, but have no personal problem, you know, because they are stable. But many guys who go to these wrong places and believing then even they can enter into a relationship with these women, bargirls or stuff like that, then you know, they are completely on the wrong path in my opinion. Big mistakes. So this is what I want to talk about. This is what I wanted to talk about today. My 3 biggest mistakes when dating in Asia from my 19 years experience in being in these countries and being involved with these women in various Southeast Asian countries. This is what I see, this is my conclusion. Of course, there are other mistakes, you know, you can do, there are many mistakes, you know. But this for me these are the top 3. Because when you want good girls, decent girls, you cannot look in red light districts, yeah? And I don't know if it is a good idea to start something with a hooker. I think it's a mistake, you know? But if you are addicted to these places, I think then you have a problem. If you cannot step out of this and look for good girls in other areas. If you cannot do this, then you have psychological issues to take care of, and it would be a mistake to ignore this. So with that being said, I'm checking out for today. Thanks for watching and let me know what you think. I'm looking forward to your comments. Do you agree? Are you not agreeing with me? What is your experience? You're still hanging out at the drinking holes with the girl on your lap every other night, or you grew out of this already, you are happily married? Maybe are you married to a former bargirl? Yes, no? If yes, how did it go? Let us know. I want to learn. I'm interested in these stories. There's always something to learn, you know. So please don't be shy to share your experiences. So with that being said, I'm checking out. Thanks for watching, and I'm gonna see you in one of my next videos. Take care. Bye bye.